Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this, the last of our special Ramadan shows for the Oasis Focus and Finance show. I'm your host, Shafiq Morten. During this holy month, we've had a look at long-term sustainable savings, and we've also examined social and ethical responsibilities. Today, we have a look at the very special activities at Oasis during this blessed month of Ramadan, a month of charity, blessings and prayer. The 1st of June 2017 marked the 20th anniversary for the Oasis Group. The company celebrated the occasion by hosting over 120 children from some of the early childhood development schools it supports through its partnership with the Centre for Early Childhood Development. The first day of June is also International Children's Day, a fitting beginning to a month South Africa dedicates to the youth of our country.
International Children's Day is a day when the world comes together to celebrate its children, and it's very significant because children don't get the attention or the focus which they need, and it's a day when the world comes together and celebrates the beauty of childhood. Oasis has supported the Centre for Early Childhood Development for a number of years, and what they've done is they provide funding so that we can build preschools, so that we can train teachers, so that we can equip preschools. And over the years, Oasis must have impacted upon many thousands of young children who would otherwise not have the benefit of a quality early childhood program. As a country, we've come a long way. It's been a struggle. It's been both a political struggle and a developmental struggle. If we look back at the apartheid days, we have come a long way, but we've also got a long way to go. You know, the deficit which the new post-apartheid government inherited was huge. We now have a very, very good early childhood development policy in place. The trick now is to implement that policy so that young children benefit. And with Oasis support, we're making a small contribution towards that.
Oasis's unwavering commitment to make a deep and lasting impact on the leaders of our future is supported by the depth of the group's projects within education and social development. With investments of more than 10 million rand, having reached early learning facilities, and 15 million rand in secondary and tertiary education, Oasis backs its funding allocation with tangible, on-the-ground support to ensure that funding is effective and contributes meaningfully towards the improvement of the quality of life for individuals and for their communities. With Oasis House transformed into brightly colored classrooms and play areas, Oasis CEO Ebrahim said that his young and special guests were treated to a fun day, but the day itself served to connect the children to the very stakeholders that are involved and engaged in their growth and their development.
You know, the first revelation was read in the name of our Lord. You know, and that tells, you know, with reading, with education, you actually liberate, you open up, and you change society. In a country like South Africa, where you have mass unemployment, you have huge differences in wealth, mass poverty, and you actually have a society where the people are actually standing up and saying we cannot afford education because many people land up having loans at the end of education, you know, the university education, and then they land up having jobs that they're not suited for or not having university degrees that are suitable for the jobs, so they're unemployed. So you go through university with this great dream, and then you land up in the wrong area and have debt. You then have the burden of debt. You make all the wrong decisions for the rest of your life. Our task is, one, is to create equilibrium through education, to create equality through education, and then to do that without the burden of debt. And so we fully fund the students during university. The third thing is we mentor the students through the process. So what that does is it gets us to understand the students, and it gets them to understand a work environment at the highest level. So by the time they completed their studies, we may have impacted them on changing their studies to meet their personalities and their competitive advantages, or we may have entrenched their interest in their core areas of studies. And by the time they've completed their studies, they're actually valuable members of society. They're ready to join the workforce. They're highly competitive. And from an Oasis point of view, we know them well and we welcome them into our organization. So that is, and we do that through our bursary arrangements. And then we do through the universities. We started with UCT, donating 10 million. Inshallah, we will take that forward into places like UWC and University of Stellenbosch over the next 18 months. We further support that by things like the Centre of Early Childhood Development, which the process starts at the preschool level. So if you can get that foundation right, then as you grow through society and as you grow up, you have a much stronger foundation to be successful. And then there are those people that are less fortunate because they're orphans amongst others. We create a environment where they feel as if they're one of a community, two, a part of a family. So we take them out to the movies, to the beach, putt-putt, and all the things that ordinary kids would like to have. They are ordinary kids, and so what we need to do is bring them closer to us. And by doing all of this, hopefully we narrow the gap between poverty, we narrow the gap between rich and poor, we leave nobody behind, we create the opportunity for everybody to prosper and realize their dream. And if they realize their dream through an Oasis that we are part of, alhamdulillah, it's a wonderful experience.
Children are integral members of their communities. They have rights, they need protection, support, and above all, they need to be immersed into an environment that stimulates their love for learning as they grow. At Oasis, we have an obligation to ensure that the children within our communities grow into responsible, caring, and well-adjusted young leaders who are able to continue improving on the building blocks and the plans we have created for them. Society today has contributed a lot towards education and the development of our young, but we need to enhance this by investing personally into these areas, going beyond the large paychecks. While funding is necessary, given the developmental requirements of our current landscape, giving off your time to guide and mentor the youth enhances and motivates them to push beyond their boundaries and to turn good outcomes into great outcomes. It takes an entire village to raise a child, and the way in which we do will affect how these young people shape our world in the future, so special care is needed when raising them. International Children's Day merely highlights a single day to celebrate our children, when in fact they need to be celebrated every day. Far too often, children, especially in their formative years, are not stimulated enough, and these impacts are far-reaching later on in life when inquiry and deeper cognitive thinking is required. Children learn through play, but their play needs to be structured in a way that keeps enhancing their abilities. This is the second phase of a project that commenced in 2012, where the group also saw to the enhancement of 30 educare centres to ensure enhanced teacher training and the upgrade of facilities and equipment. The support of the first phase has proven successful, with many children acquiring noticeably better capabilities and skills. This has resulted in well-adjusted and secure children who are far more receptive to their formal environments once they enter the mainstream education system.
The non-profit world, surviving in the non-profit world and sustaining yourself is very, very difficult. About 18 years ago, we took a decision to link up with Oasis and to invest with Oasis. I've known Nazim and Adam from university, and I met Shaheen a bit later. Oasis have given us superb advice, so much so that we are now very, very sustainable, and it's clearly because of the advice they've given us, the investments they've made of our funds, and the one word that I think about when I think of Oasis is the word integrity. because all their programmatic work with us, the way they've dealt with our resources and with our funds, has been driven by integrity. So we're very, very grateful to Oasis for the role they've played in sustaining our organization.
In this segment, we have a look at some of the special guests that visited us at Oasis during the month.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
We've delivered on our promise that we would work hard, we would endeavor to create value for our society, and the first part of what we needed to do is solve the problem of non-permissible income, and that was probably the biggest achievement, because with a great degree of confidence we've taken a very, very big group of our community who have decided to come with Oasis and other companies. We've created an industry and started a journey which started 20 years ago of moving towards getting their investments and their finances in line with what we have to do as Muslims. We must not invest in non-permissible because we cannot use it. And if we do use it, we actually start eating haram. And so for us, for me, that is most probably the biggest achievement, that we have been able to provide an alternative, and that alternative hasn't been at the expense of returns. In fact, the returns have been exceptional. You know, the Crescent Fund, which was launched a year later, has delivered more than 19% per annum over that full period. Now, what does that 19% per annum mean? If you put 100,000 Rand into the Crescent Fund on the 1st of August 1998, today that's worth about 2.6, 2.7, 2.8 million. Now that's a lot of money, that's a lot of wealth, and many, many people have been able to improve their quality of life, been able to go on Umrah, to go on Hajj, be able to send their kids to school, be able to buy better houses. So it's really been a fantastic contribution to society. The zakah base of our society has increased. That means we have greater ability to do what we're supposed to do, and that's been fantastic.
On the 3rd of June, Oasis welcomed over 150 children from Al Noor Children's Home, Darun Naim, the Habibia Children's Home, and Vision Children's Home for a special iftar at Oasis House. The children were joined by directors and staff as well as their families, who gathered for Maghrib Salah, dinner and a Taraweeh program. The day was significant as it coincided with the 8th day of Ramadan, for which the dua says,
اللهم ارزقني فيه رحمة الأيتام وإدآم اللعام وإفشاء السلام وصحبة الكرام بتولك يا ملجأ الآملين.
O Allah, keep me alive in this month, wrapped in the compassion thou feels for the orphans. Provide me wholesome meals, and let me show forth myself as a true Muslim to spread Islam. Let me move in the company of the noble-minded persons through thy power, O the ultimate resting place of those who long for safety. Put into context, the meaning of this dua, this prayer, requires that on this day we show mercy to the orphans, feed the hungry, spread peace, and keep company with the noble-minded. The noble Quran places great emphasis on the orphan, mentioning their significance to us over 20 times, so that we, who are entrusted as their caretakers and guardians, do right by them and give them their due.
I think, Shafiq, the real people out there that I would like to say thank you to are all the people who have supported Oasis in the last 20 years. I think the people who've supported Oasis are real courageous people. They gave us the opportunity when they didn't know who we were, right? And we have proven to them that after 20 years, we're around and we're going to be around for a long, long, long time to come. What makes them special is that they didn't find excuses. They didn't look towards others, that others could do better. They looked towards their own community and they said, this is who we want to empower. Now tonight, I think part of what happened tonight was inspired by people like Malcolm X, who inspired people like us, who said, if we do for our community and give our community the best will come out of our community. So we hope, inshallah, the best will come out of these young people by the experiences that we can give them, inshallah. And I again say thank you very, very, very much to all the people who have supported us.
Oasis has, over the past 2 years, built a special relationship with these homes and the kids that live there. We are committed to protect these children and their rights, and to celebrate their vibrant energy, their innocence, their creativity, and their inquiring minds. The group is equally focused on improving their environment and giving them every opportunity towards a fantastic education. Since establishing our relationship with the homes, Oasis has engaged the children with experiential learning and development.
Oasis that has such a strong community sense, right, and make so many contributions to the betterment of the lives of others. My wish for Oasis is many, many, many more years of success, and more than that, I would hope, and I know they would, continue contributing where it matters. And for me, one of the most important areas is to be able to give young people an education. And I have been, over the years, spending time with young people and telling them that the life of the mind you can't replace. You can have all the money in the world, you can have all the fame in the world, you can be the most important person. But if you don't develop a sense of curiosity, if you don't develop a critical faculty, if you don't get excited about wanting to know more, if you don't get excited when you understand something complex, a concept, you don't get excited and say, my God, is that how it works? Isn't it fascinating?
And Oasis epitomizes peace, safety, security. It epitomizes growth. It epitomizes that you actually have to make sure you live in congruence with nature, with society. So this brand is about quality, about giving back into society, about delivering on our promise and ensuring that we create not only a stable business, but we create stability for our clients and sustainability for our clients, because if we can deliver on our promise, we would, one, protect the wealth of our clients, and two, grow the wealth of our clients, three, grow and protect the wealth of our society, including those that are less fortunate.
The company has put in place a special program that ensures that the children get taken out every weekend, and through carefully planned activities that are mostly enjoyable, they have been exposed to the wider environment. The intention is to allow these children to explore the world around them and to understand that there is much more that they could engage with in a positive and a meaningful way. For example, trips taken to Table Mountain National Park gives them an interactive learning experience with the natural environment. Similarly, their experience in Amanus and exposing them to the whales, nature conservation, science, and marine biology has opened their understanding of the world and given them renewed direction and focus. These visits, which have included trips to the bird world, museums, Robben Island, and exposure to arts and culture, have repurposed the children's focus. They are more engaged with school, they take their learning seriously, and they have more drive, and they look at their world for the opportunities it represents, which is so encouraging and requires that we nurture their development so that they too can one day take on their rightful role amongst us. And that concludes this special edition of the Ramadan Focus and Finance Show. We hope you've enjoyed being with us. Should you wish to contact us, you can call 0860 100 786 or email info@oasiscrescent.com. From all of us at Oasis, we wish you the very best for Eid and Eid Mubarak inshaAllah, and may all your prayers be answered. From myself, Shafiq Morten, for the last time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.